Welcome everyone back to Beat the Game. This is episode 4 of Beyond the PreCon, and today we're going to talk all about Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel. If you guys have been enjoying these videos, please leave a thumbs up. A comment is always nice, and share these videos with new players in your group that you're introducing to the game. All right, that being said, we're going to talk about Carol Danvers. From the core set, she was the character I was the least excited about. I know, I was like, what? Steve, you're normally so excited about all these heroes. And like, yes, so Carol Danvers, just the character in general in the Marvel Comics was not a character that I was very drawn to. It is not a character that I enjoyed particularly. I'm like, even in the story, I did enjoy the movie, the premise behind the movie with, empowerment and all that. So I thought it was okay. But Captain Marvel as a super being wasn't my cup of tea. And I think to this day, like even characters like Superman who are just kind of over the top powerful, it doesn't come and get me. It's not like, oh, wow. Now, that being said, it is not my favorite thematically, or it is not even my favorite hero to play. But mechanically, this character is by far the strongest from the core box. Now, again, we all have our preferences. We all have our characters that we identify with. But Carol Danvers, if you are a mechanical player, if you play games and you like to combo and you like how you like to feel very powerful right from the gate, then you should definitely start with Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel. And let's talk about why she is so powerful. Well, the first thing is her alter ego mechanic, which is her ability to make somebody draw a card. Now, you can take the card for yourself if you're playing solo, but you also can help out a teammate. Hey guys, I'm one resource short. Boom. She can just give a resource and help somebody else set up really fast. She has a cool hand size of 6, 12 hit points for recovery. And then in hero form, she's got a fan size of 5, 2 thwart, 2 attack, 1 defense. But this is where she is amazing. Her ability called Rechannel. So spend a lightning and heal 1 damage. Now, this is very important. Spending a lightning is one condition. Healing a damage is the second condition to be able to, draw a card. So if you are still at maximum health, you cannot draw a card from this ability, even if you spend a lightning. So that's a little technicality. Please don't forget. One of the biggest rules in Marvel Champions is you must complete everything at on the left side of the arrow to be able to get the benefits that are on the right side of the arrow. That being said, that is that. Now let's take a look at her hero kit. What makes her so powerful? Well, this card right here is she's got 2 triple resources, and that is insane. So we have Black Panther, who has money with the Wakanda, which is only 2 wilds, but this is triple resources. It's crazy good. So you can't go wrong with that. And then she's got 2 copies of that. She has this super cool support called the Alpha Flight Station that helps her draw cards. So you get to discard a card to draw 2 cards if you're an alter ego, or you get to discard a card to draw a card. So this engine of, we call this filtering, so you get to dig into your deck for your better cards, is amazing. And between her ability, you can see an extra 3 cards. So you can see 9 cards from your deck. Out of a 40-carded deck, it's basically 1/4 of your deck on turn 1 that you can go through if you haven't mulliganed. So that is insane. So Alpha Flight Station, it's 100% a very big priority to play. Then she's got 2 cards called Energy Channel, which means it says you can spend resources to put counters here. Max once per player, but once you have 5 counters on this, you can discard this and deal 10 damage. Now be careful because it is an upgrade, but it is also an attack. So if you are stunned, this attack will just make this discard and you will not deal the damage. So that's very important little rules here. Then she has another upgrade called the Cosmic Flight, which says she gains the Aerial trait. And you're like, what is Aerial? What does it do? In the core box, it doesn't do much, but she does have a few cards that interact really well with the Aerial trait. So she's got 2 copies of that. And the first card that interacts is her helmet. It gives her +1 defense, +2 defense if you have the Aerial trait. So then she becomes a 2/2/3, which means she's pretty good in protection and defending. Then she has these cool events. She's got 3 crisis interdictions, which says, again, that combo off if you have the Aerial trait. Remove 2 threat from a scheme. Then if you have the Aerial trait, remove 2 threat from a different scheme, which is amazing. And then finally, for events, she has 3 times the Photonic Blast, which is a 5 damage attack with the cost of 3, but you can always pay with 1 card, which is great. Deal 5 damage to an enemy, and if you paid with a lightning resource, draw another card. So much card draw in her kit between the Alpha Flight Station, her ability, and these Photonic Blasts. So you have technically 5 ways to draw cards out of a kit of 15. So 1/3 of her deck makes you draw more cards. It's super solid. And then finally, to top it all off, she has the best ally in the deck, which is Spider-Woman, which allows you to confuse the villain as she is played onto the battlefield. So as soon as she enters play, she confuses the villain. That's amazing. So just this, her hero kit is extremely powerful. The fact that she can come in and confuse the villain means you can go to Alter Ego, draw another card, discard a card, draw 2 cards, play something else. So even if you have even if you flip down and have no cards in Alter Ego, you can always draw 1, discard it to draw 2. Maybe you'll get a triple resource, and maybe you can play something else. So that is a lot of cards that are moving, and that is why she is so powerful. Now let's take a look at her PreCon and how we can make it better. All right, so the PreCon is pretty simple. It comes with the 2 powers of leadership, the 2 get readies, 2 make the calls, 2 lead from the fronts, the Triskelion, 2 inspireds. It comes with Vision, Hawkeye, and Maria Hill, and then the 11 basic cards that are from the PreCon. Once we're done with the core box, this is going to be fun. Now they always have to add these ones. Mansion, Helicarrier, Tenacity, Haymaker, First Aid, Emergency, Mockingbird, Nick Fury, and the 3 double resources. Now, the first thing you want to take a look at in her kit when you're going to upgrade is she has a lot of synergies with the lightning resources. So if you don't have a lot, if the first cards that I would remove are the ones that do not have the lightning resources. And I think the easiest one to remove is the 2 get readies. So this for me would be the first ones I would get rid of to add cards with lightning resources. The other one is she does already have a lot of economy and a lot of card draw. So a Helicarrier is just more of something that she does not need. So that is the 3rd card I would get rid of. Aside from that, I would get rid of 1 more Inspired. I don't think you need more than 1. Vision with an Inspired is already going to be doing 15 damage over 3 turns. He's already going to be a monster. So you don't need a 4th one of this. And finally, it's a little weird, but I am going to get rid of a Tenacity. Even though it has the Lightning, I think there's a couple better cards that we can add for that. So here's my suggestions for what to add. So I would add 2 emergencies. First of all, they cost 0. If you're in Alter Ego and the villain schemes, you can help reduce that. And it allows you to stay in Alter Ego maybe an extra turn. So adding 2 of those, again, they can combo off with Vision, they combo off with her Rechannel, and they combo off with her Energy Absorption. So that is great. Then I would add 1 more Haymaker, same principle. It's a lightning resource, it's some damage, why not? Now, the two other cards I would add, the first one is Make the Call. I would add a third Make the Call. The reason why is you just want to be able to recur. The only ally you want to recur is her. Why? Because she is another one, kind of like She-Hulk, that wants to flip to alter ego, but her way to control threat is by confusing the villain. Now, seeing that most villains only have the 2 advances to scheme, and I think Ultron is the only one who has 2 other cards that can make him scheme. The odds are that you get a card that makes the villain advance twice are very slim. So again, you'll be able to take advantage of extra card draw always by remaining keeping control on the main scheme. And then finally, because you want to keep Vision, I would just add one more First Aid, just so you can use Vision, you know, over 3-4 turns, and you know you keep healing him. He's there, and he's always a consistent 5 damage. So this is what I would suggest as an upgraded Precon. Just add a Haymaker, add a First Aid, add 2 Emergencies, and add 1 Make the Call. So that is 5 cards that you switch out, and you can have a real good time. And you will see this deck is going to be off the chains, efficient for whatever you need. Now, let's go beyond the Precon, and in what aspect do I think she's the best? Well, funny enough, there's 2 aspects that I think she can really shine. The first one is a super damage-focused strategy in aggression. She has the resources to really push damage early on in the game. She can recover. So aggression is probably one of my first go-tos, but I think the main aspect is still leadership. And now we're going to take a look at some of the hero packs that really make her amazing in leadership if you want to focus on that build. Now, don't get me wrong, there has been some really cool aerial cards that have been coming out. And those are going to, you know, increase what these characters can do. But that being said, let's just take a look at what she can do with the best hero packs to really increase her strategy. All right. And if you want to see her in aggression, how good she is, take a look at Brant Step Into the Portal. His channel, he has something called the speed runs, and where he goes from stage 1 to stage 5 of the campaign, sometimes in like 9 or 10 turns. It's ridiculous, and Captain Marvel is normally his go-to girl, along with Star-Lord for these types of those types of games. So we'll go check that out in a second. Now let's take a look at how we upgrade the Precon. All right, let's take a look at some of the hero packs to really increase her power level in the leadership aspect. So I think the first one I would highly recommend would be the deluxe. That's in French. It would be the expansion Rise of the Red Skull. Rise of the Red Skull not only gives you a super sweet hero called Hawkeye, but it also gives you a lot of cool upgrades and some cool new Avengers. All right, so the first one I really like is the team training. This says each ally you control gets +1 hit point, which is amazing. So that's one more activation for all your allies. The second is the Sky Cycle, which allows to use your allies twice in the same turn, which is great. It also comes with Hawkeye. The reason I will like Hawkeye with her is if you have one of those triple resources, you can discard it, and she has 3 printed resources on that card. So Hawkeye can just exhaust and deal 3 damage because of that triple resource. And our good friend Goliathes, who has an ability to get +4, so bring his attack up to 5, and then he can attack for 5 damage. And if you have those get readies, he can deal 10 damage. And if you have a couple, and especially with this, the team training, he can do up to 15 damage before going away. So that is amazing. So that little combo here. Someone was also asking what to replace. Like, oh, what would you replace these cards with? Well, it's pretty simple. This kind of strategy, I really like to play Alter Ego. Carol Danvers leads the Avengers. The reason why I like to play it in Alter Ego, it's because I have my 7-card hand, and once I find my what's it called, the Alpha Flight Station, I can go up to 9 cards. I already have an ally in my signature kit that can confuse the villain, and all of my allies that I'll be able to put in can remove 2 threat. And if I have ways to activate them more than once, it's good. So pretty simple. If I'm going to go for that strategy, I'm going to remove everything that has to do with hero actions first. So anything that has a hero action, I would just remove from the game. And just be like, okay, I'll remove these hero cards first. All right. Aside from our friend Hawkeye, the second pack I highly recommend for this strategy is AntMan. AntMan not only is a super fun hero, but he has 5 cool cards that I really love for this. And 2 of them go on allies. So the reinforced suit gives an ally +2 hit points, so that's 2 extra activations. And the other one is a power glove, which is contingent to equip on an Avenger ally. And after the ally attacks or thwarts, he deals an extra damage to an enemy. So that is cool. So now I get rewarded for activating my allies with extra free damage, which is amazing. And then you have Ant-Man, who costs 0 that you can overpay. You have Ronin, who once you equip him, he becomes stronger. So he gets +1 thwart and 1 attack while an upgrade is on him. So you can turn him into a 2/3, or if you have the Inspired, he becomes a 3/4 attacker with 3 health. So he's really, really strong. And then you have Giant Man, whose Giant Man get +2 attack while he has 3 or more remaining hit points. That means he's attacking for 4 off the bat. Yeah, he does cost 5, but Carol Danvers doesn't care, because with those triple resources, she can afford to pay these high-cost allies. So there you go. So those are the second one I would highly recommend. And then finally, my third pick would be War Machine. So War Machine, again, another really fun hero in leadership. Comes with Falcon. He can also be found in Captain America's pack. He comes with the Black Panther, which gets you some of your cool events that you need in Alter Ego. So he can go and fetch you back a Make the Call and put it on him, which is great. So you can kind of just keep recurring that Make the Call. But the best card in this card is called the Command Team. Exhaust Command Team and remove a command and ready an ally. So now, instead of having events in your hand that ready allies, you can have permanents, which deck thins, which means you're going to see your better cards more often. So that is really, really good. So you can have 5 allies on the table and just use your allies and go to town while you sip margaritas at the Air Force Base. So that for me is my favorite strategy with Carol Danvers. I don't, like I said, I'm not a big fan of Ms. Captain Marvel. So there's a nice combination that you can do as well with the this pack. If you do decide to go to hero form once in a while, you can also use this sneak attack card. And since you're an Avenger, you can put these really high cost allies out for cheap. And then there's all this other synergies that kind of work well in the War Machine pack, where you can deal more damage. Let me just break them out. So if Alter Ego is not your jam, but the sneak attack is, you can choose these, and then you have these awesome new cards, which is kind of a strategy called Kamikaze Allies, where you use your allies a couple times, and then you just, you either make them go down swinging, so you can discard an ally, and you deal damage to an enemy equal to its printed cost. So, playing these 4 cost, 5 cost allies now becomes really interesting, with playing cards like this. And the other one is Save the Day, where you can also remove threat. So that also comes in the War Machine pack. So that's like six cards for that strategy just with these ones. And then obviously honorable mentions to Captain America, who has the cards from Strength in Numbers. And then there's I think I really like the Hulk pack for the Inspiring Presence. And there's a couple of cards like that where you can kind of have some fun with those cards. So that is upgrading the PreCon for Captain Marvel. I really, like I said, even to this day, she is not my favorite character, but I do see the potential when I play this character. She's very, very aggressive. She can deal a lot of damage. She can remove threat. She can draw cards. And super strong character. Super, don't get me wrong, she is so strong. 100% the strongest character from the core set. I recommend, if you want to play her out, bring up the difficulty. If you're going to play standard with her, you're going to see that your games are going to go pretty easily. So don't be afraid to bring like a MODOK or Legions of Hydra to make the game a little bit more interesting once you start mastering her abilities. So yeah, so that is it, guys. I'll go in more details once I'm done this first cycle of Beyond the PreCon. Once I run through the allies, there's all of the hero packs. I'll come back and look at Beyond the PreCon Volume 2, and then what's the other aspects I like. So that's going to give me content for the future as well. But until then, if you want to check out Captain Marvel, a lot of good synergies with the aerial cards. A lot of good synergies with in protection now. And you just got to check it out. You just got to explore. I'm only focusing on one thing, but there's so much more to this game than just one guy's opinion. Especially with leadership, there's so many different ways to play leadership now. So yeah, don't feel free to explore. Check out Marvel CDB for some amazing deck creators. You can look at some of my decks on there too. Yeah, if you like them, yeah, just write a comment. I'm not very popular on those. I don't do a lot of write-ups. I do my content is on video, so there you go. All right, guys. So hopefully you do enjoy these little videos, and you guys learn a little something about how to upgrade these precons. We got Iron Man left coming next week, so super excited about that. And then we're gonna move into hero packs. So excited. All right, guys. So keep on playing Marvel Champions. And hope these little videos will help you play the game so you can beat the game. Ciao, ciao.